Welcome. Are you ready to welcome in prosperity? Okay, so it's like that, but it's also like that. So, what are those steps? Why do we actually, most of us, why do we block our happiness? Why do we block the abundance? Why do we block the prosperity? Today, we're going into 3 questions that you can answer, which will support you in welcoming it in rather than blocking it. All right, so 3 questions which will support you in welcoming in prosperity rather than resisting it, rather than blocking it, rather than saying, I don't want to. Because, as ridiculous as it sounds, that is most of us are doing. Because everything and anything is available to you. As Abraham and Esther Hicks say, it doesn't take time, it takes alignment. So, why is it that we're not welcoming it in? Why is it that we're resisting it? And that gets me to question number 1. What do you want? Most of us don't know what we want, and it's very conflicting. Our inner critic goes into, well, I want this, I also don't want this, and I don't want this, but I also kind of want it. And we're there and just pick a lane. Just pick any lane. And if it's the wrong lane, then it's better to just go in that lane and then understand that it's the wrong lane and switch lanes. But a lot of us are in this analysis paralysis, or we're going into this lane, that lane, this lane, that lane, and we can't actually get anywhere at all. So, what is it that you want? Getting so crystal clear. In the next year, what do you want to create? Write it out. Oh, this is a big one. Write it out. You do not want to have it in your mind. Just, first of all, a different part of your mind. I've said this so many times. A different part of your brain is activated when you're writing things down by hand. Okay, this is the first key here. But also, it is taking all of this which is in your mind, that energy, and just putting it on paper, bringing it here into the physical reality. There's actually research that you are, I believe 52, if I'm not mistaken, 52% more likely to achieve something, that goal, that target, when you write it down. Okay, so you really want to get it down on paper and be specific. A lot of people go into, I want to work out more, I want to eat healthier. What does that mean? What is healthier? Because that's how your inner critic gets you. You're never going to get there. It's going to be, well, it's more than right now. Right now is never enough. So you want to be specific, you want to be measurable, and you want to have it written down on paper. Get very clear on what is it that you want. If you want to attract a particular person, a partner into your life, what are their qualities, right? What is it? How do you feel when you're with that person? If it's a work target, again, how does that feel? What does that target look like? And why do you want it? Because oftentimes we go into, well, I just want more money, right? Like money's the big one. I just want more money. But the money is not the end result. Do you want pieces of paper? You want a number in your bank account? No, that's not fulfilling. Why do you want it? I want it so I can travel. I want it so I can change my home. I want it so I can have a particular level of freedom. So it's not about what you think it's about. Go deeper into that. What do you want and why? Number 2, what have you learned last year? A lot of us don't ask this question, and we just keep wanting the same thing year after year after year, not really making any action steps, or maybe making action steps and it didn't work, and we go right back and then we don't try again. We don't go through with it. What did you learn last year? It's important to honestly assess what worked, what didn't, or else we're just going to be in the same cycle. So how, first of all, are you still in that place? If you had the previous goal, let's say last year you wanted to do something and they're like, yeah, I just got moved over. Right. What worked, what didn't? I wasn't motivated. Okay, at which point? At which point did you lose that motivation? And one thing with motivation, a lot of people wait for that to come. It's like, okay, I have to feel motivated to do it. I'm like, I'm going to do it when it speaks to me, when it flows through me. It's like, that's not how it works. There is that resistance, okay? It's there. You have to make yourself do it. You have to lovingly, okay? It's not just, okay, let's push through, but ask, okay, I understand this is difficult for you. It's like speaking to that inner child, and this is a whole other video, but it's speaking to that inner critic, loving that inner child and saying, I understand that you're scared. I understand that this is out of the comfort zone. I understand this is uncomfortable. And I'm going to hold your hand while we do this together. And you push through it that way, holding it, not dragging that inner child, lovingly holding its hand. and you make yourself do it. From that place, that's when you get motivation. That's when you get momentum. And then you get to keep going with motivation. But many people just wait for motivation to come. They wait for that inspiration to come out of nowhere. You have to take that action step. The first action step that feels good, no matter how small it feels, just do that. So the question here, and the question number 2, what did you learn? And what can you do differently? Question number 3, this is the final one. When? Schedule it in. A lot of us are going into, I'm totally doing this year. At which point? Later, right? A lot of us have later. Even simple things like, I'm going to clear out my closet later. Later never comes. I know for me, that was a realization when my dad passed away, and I was like, oh, he didn't have a later. And any of us, we don't have that later. I know one of the most fantastic vacations that I've ever taken, because I just put on my bucket list. I had on my bucket list for a long time. I want to see the Northern Lights. And the person that I was going with, they said, well, maybe we should do it later. I'm like, let's just do it now. Like, it just feels right. Like, there's no time like the present. Let's go. And that happened right before COVID. So actually, later would not have been possible. Right now may have been possible, but it's a different time. And just the point of this is, don't wait. Don't hold yourself back, because actually intuition, inspired action, that action, that guidance, because spirit can only do for you what it does through you. And it's about taking action when you get that inspiration, not wait for later. There's no later. Right now, as you get that, no matter how much resistance, no matter how lazy you may feel, just do it right now. Do it while it's still alive, while it's burning in you. And as you follow those little, I want to say sparks, I'm imagining the fire element right now. As you follow that flame gets bigger. And so you stop questioning. You no longer question your intuition. You just act on it right away, because you're so used to that, because you've built that muscle of just taking inspired action as it comes. But you have to get to that point. So the third question is when. Schedule it in. It can be as simple as, but I really don't want to do it right now. That's okay. Get your agenda, write it in. Okay, get your phone, schedule it in, and don't snooze that, but actually take that action. All right, so to recap, the 3 questions to support you in thriving this year. What do you want? Getting so crystal clear on that. What did you learn? What didn't work? Okay. And also what did work? Like, what energized you? What got you motivated? What got you pumped? Okay. What worked? What didn't? What did you learn? Number 3, when? So this is the combination of the assessment, this is a combination of intuition, and this is a combination of actually that inspired action. So on this note, if this is something that you want to dive deeper into, this is actually what we do in the Powerful Self monthly membership. So because a lot of people advocate either one approach or the other. It's like, you have to be connected and intuitive and flowy, or you have to take action and you have to go for it. And neither of those work on their own, right? You feel great, but don't actually get anything done, or you feel burnt out, but a lot of things are done. They don't work together, and that's why I truly believe in the importance of combining that feminine and masculine energy. That is the action and the intuition. So you create that inspired action. You live the life that just feels good, that you don't have to push. It flows through you abundantly, lovingly, joyfully. So if this is something that you want to check out the membership. The link will be below. If you're watching this on Instagram, it's in the bio. Because it's so important to take those action steps. It's so important to have that accountability, because it's in the little things that you do. And I know that membership is just transformational, because it's there holding you accountable. It's there combining the 2 energies. It's there connecting to your essence, to yourself, but also how do we function in the outer world, and how do we incorporate that into it. So I'm really passionate about it, because I know the benefits of that. I live that myself. I do this with clients, and I hope to share it with you. So I hope to see you there.